Today I'm going to be giving you my full review on the Huawei Mate SE's camera. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so I really want to take a look at the camera because a ton of people are asking, they're like, is the camera any good? It's a budget phone, the camera's probably not good. I'm just getting a lot of interaction with people about this phone, and a lot of people are very interested in this phone. I took a look at some other people's video and they were asking about the camera. And the camera is one of the most important things on a phone, one of the most important things to people on a phone. But I'm going to actually put this camera through the ropes, see how good it's going to do. So you guys are going to actually see me taking pictures. There's a light painting mode on here that I'm going to do that I think is going to be a pretty cool shot when I get it right now. Before I take any photos though, I will give you a little introduction of the camera. If you go right here, we have that little portrait mode right here. If you go right there, we have the wide aperture enabled. On the right, we also have a moving picture enabled, so this is for anything that's moving or shaking. It shouldn't come out blurry, it should do its best. Obviously, we have the front and rear camera, and we have a 1080p video up to 30 frames per second. And if you swap to the right, you are going to get all these different modes. We have photo, we have pro photo, video, pro video, HDR, panorama, light painting, time lapse, slow-mo, filter, effects, watermark, and audio note. I'm going to be testing out the more interesting ones on here, such as photo, video, pro video, HDR, light painting, the good stuff that people actually want to see. And I'm going to give you my opinion if it is good or not. But yeah, let's go ahead and start shooting. This is the rear facing camera, 1080p, 30 frames per second. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around again. But yeah, this is the rear facing camera, 1080p, 30 frames per second, in light. Same camera, rear facing camera, in low light conditions. So as you guys saw, the camera did pretty good in lit conditions. In low light, there's a little bit more grain as you guys see in the film, but it's still pretty decent for a budget camera. The microphone built inside of the camera is actually pretty decent too. Now as you guys see on the front facing camera, the grain is more noticeable than the rear facing camera, and if we are in more lit conditions, as you see right here, the grain seems to go away. There's still some shakiness with the camera, but I think the front facing camera for a budget phone overall is pretty decent, honestly, in my opinion. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and drop this right here and test the slow-mo. Now as you see, the slow-mo is definitely not the highlight of this camera. It's something similar to what you would get on the ZT Z Max Pro if you've ever used that, or just compare it to a really cheap budget phone. There's a lot of blur and stuff like that in the background as you see, and it's not sharp at all. Also, in between recording the slow-mo clip right here, you can actually edit the video. All you have to do is click on it, pause it, and you can put wherever you want this slow-mo at, because I know a lot of you may want your whole film slow-mo. All you have to do is do that, and then you just have to play it, and it should be all slow-mo wherever you want it at, the duration of it. So yeah, cool. Now that we saw all of the main camera functions, if you go inside of any of the other modes, we also have filters. The filters on here include Mono, Impact, ND, Valencia, Blue, Halo, Nostalgia, and Dawn, and you guys can go ahead and use these as well. There's also a dope mode on here called Watermark, which I thought was pretty neat in my opinion. Basically, it shows you the location, the weather, and the date that you took the photos, so I would see this being very useful on things like vacations. Another thing I found useful was the information cards at the top right corner, which basically show you what the camera modes do. I thought that was very useful, and Huawei makes it easy for the average person to use. There's also a thing called a audio note, which basically if you take a picture you can record up to 10 seconds of audio. I see this being good with making grocery lists and just taking notes on an everyday basis pretty much.
Remember that you need a new mouse when you go to Target.
I know what you guys are gonna say. What the is this dude doing at 10:30 at night, waving a light in the air like he's at a Bon Jovi concert? Well, basically you guys have a light painting option on your phone, and you guys are going to get some sample photos after you guys see me waving in the light in the air like a dumbass. But basically, yeah, you have a light painting mode on your phone that is actually pretty dope. And I could see a lot more of you using the light painting mode after you see some of these pictures. It's pretty dope. So in conclusion, for a phone that's under $250, this is actually a really good camera. Both the front and rear camera do offer a ton of features that a lot of budget phones don't offer. This has been your host TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.